My feminist hero is Malala Yousafzai. It was the 9th of October 2012 and she was only 14 years old. Taliban gunmen burst onto the bus and shot her for the crime of going to school. But she recovered. In 2014, she became the youngest ever Nobel laureate. She set up the Malala Fund and she continues to use her platform and her power to speak out. My other one is Billie Eilish. The reason I wrote Feminist History for every day of the year is because every single one of you has got a voice. And it's so easy to become demoralised and think there's nothing we can do to change the world. But in the book, you will hear that there are so many women, girls, non-binary people who have changed the world just by being brave and standing up for what they believed in. So those people are us. They are all of us. And we can, one by one, make a difference. Everyone can read this book, whoever they are, however old, whatever they look like, because the point is that feminist history is for everybody. It's the story of everybody. It's never been them versus us. It's been about all the people who are interested in doing good in the world, making the world fairer and more equal, as opposed to those who simply want to shore up their own power. So be part of the good guys. Read the book. Join us. The person who I share a birthday with is Kamala Harris. But she's a little bit younger than me. Statues are living history and they take history out of the books and pages and the archives and libraries and onto the street. So I would love to see a statue of Chichester, which is where I come from, the one suffragette we found whose name is Madge Turner. And we are campaigning right at the moment to have the first ever statue of a woman in Chichester. You could do the same. Pretty much everybody's heard of the amazing Japanese climber called Junko Tabei, who was the very first woman to climb Everest on the 16th of May 1975. But when I was researching for the book, I discovered something incredible, which was on the 4th of May, an avalanche had come across their camp and she and 4 others were buried beneath the snow and she lost consciousness and they were finally dug out. The others took it easy, or at least were taken back to base camp. She carried on. So she nearly died, but she kept going. And for the rest of her life, she went up the mountains, making sure that she picked up all the rubbish that other climbers left behind in order to be an environmental campaigner and climber as well. So she's one of those people who's really famous for her achievements, but it's all the quiet stuff she did that makes her an absolute rocking superstar. One of the most surprising things I discovered was, and I say this as a Lionesses fan and big supporter of women's football, was that there'd always been brilliant women's football, but the Football Association are the baddies of the piece, and they deliberately killed the women's game stone dead by saying things like that it wasn't suitable for females and it would affect women's fertility. And they put a ban that lasted for 50 years. If you want to find out more, you're going to have to listen to the book. I'm often asked which men I think people should look up to. And there are, of course, so many. In the book, there is an essay called Boys Can Be Feminists Too, because it's about all of the people who want to change the world for the better, ganging together, whoever they are. For me, the first inspirational man that I consciously thought about, of course, was my dad, who believed absolutely that his daughters should have the same opportunities as everybody else. So the key thing is looking around in your life and thinking about the people you've got in your life, the people you choose as friends, as well as the people in your family that you might not choose, and using your voice to help them to use their voice to make the world better and more equal for everybody. One of the people I wish I'd known about when I was younger is the extraordinary American freedom writer called Pauli Murray. She was arrested in March 1940 for sitting in the wrong section of the bus. At that stage in America, there were laws called the Jim Crow laws, which basically made black people and other people of colour second-class citizens. And she fought that. But when she was arrested and then released, she went to law school. She got herself educated. She made a difference, and she continued to make a difference, and many of the laws involving equality in America come from her work. But what I also love is that in 1977 she completely changed tack and became the first black female Episcopal minister in the church in America. And as a final extraordinary thing, she described herself as an in-betweener, what we might nowadays call a non-binary person. And it's just a reminder that everything that we talk about and think about has existed before in history. So Pauli Murray, learn her name. She made a huge amount of difference. I'm asked about who is the one person I would give this book to, and I'm not going to answer that question. I'm going to say the one organisation I would give the book to is every single school in the UK. I would like there to be a copy of this book in every single library so that any young person, their educators, their teachers, their carers have got access to it. It's why libraries matter. So let's just go for that. The person is the library system.